The video for July the 16th, 2017 is entitled Unlawful Courts in the USA. My friend Phil is a Native American and former sheriff deputy who lives here in Florida. He takes offense by me giving credibility to Anna von Reitz. He's done the research and says she was never a judge in the United States. Okay, I believe that he did not find her on any list of the corporate government. I guess he sees the current government as something legitimate. Most of you probably know that I do not see it that way. When the original 13th Amendment to the Constitution was ignored by the traitors in the second half of the 19th century, those holding titles of nobility were finally allowed to hold public office. Abraham Lincoln was the first bar attorney to become president of this nation that was then effectively infiltrated by European scoundrels. After the so-called Civil War, they created a new 13th Amendment, and the original one was relegated to forgotten history. You have to search online to find the original one nowadays. It's there. But the nation conceived in liberty and dedicated to the proposition that all men are created equal gradually became a foreign corporation. Anna von Reitz is a judge under the original Constitution, not some bar attorney acting unlawfully. Personally, I have long been involved in attempting to reestablish the constitutional government, which is a government that does not interfere and a government that abides by the founding principles of our forefathers, who gave us, as Benjamin Franklin said, a republic, man, if you can hold it. Well, we didn't hold it. And of course, in the original European settlers here, wreaked havoc on the Native American population, giving them no rights at all. In fact, the original founders of the US Constitution didn't even give rights to women, and of course not to slaves, most of whom were black, but perhaps not all of them, as we may think. I do believe that there's now slavery that crosses all racial designations, and the whole world has become enslaved by these charlatans that stole the foundational truths that upon which the republic was founded. And we ceased to be a republic. We became a democracy, which people think, well, that's a good word. No, it's not. It means rule by demons. If you want to get to where I see, how I see it, it's ruled by the majority, but it's not really, because, I mean, people think that Hillary actually won the popular vote, not realizing that the areas where she got the most votes, but mainly the cities, are the areas that have been infiltrated by a lot of the scammers, and they have rigged the system to not count the votes properly, to undercount votes for Trump and in favor of Hillary. She did not win the popular election or the electoral college election, and she lost, even on the news account, she lost most of the United States, with the exception of those most densely populated areas, as I said, the major cities. So things are not what we've been told, and they are not what they appear to be. We do not have a lawful government in the United States, and have not had one since, as I said in the blurb, the end of the 19th century, not the 20th century, folks. We're not talking about the 1900s, we're talking about the 1800s. The latter part of the 1800s, our republic was already lost. We did not keep it, as Benjamin Franklin told the lady who asked those who came out of the Continental Congress in Philadelphia, "What have you given us, ma'am?" Or "What have you given us, sir?" "Ma'am, we've given you a republic." the republic was taken. Phil does not get that. Most people on the planet don't get that. And it's not because we're stupid or bad or anything like that. It's because we've not been told the truth. As Jesus once said, you shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. Until we know the truth about how this world is and how it operates, and that it's been confiscated by less than honorable entities who overrun human rights, who take away our natural rights and freedom of speech and freedom of religion and freedom of the press, and these freedoms that were enumerated in the original Bill of Rights. These freedoms do not come to us from a government. They're not given to us by a government. They're acknowledged as unalienable, given to us by our Creator at the very beginning. There's a lot of things that we still have to learn. There's a lot of things that have been hidden from us. There's a lot of things that have undermined our abilities to comprehend the bigger picture and to see ourselves in a greater stream of things that's going on this planet, that unless you see it, it doesn't make sense, because we don't have minds that have been trained to see what needs to be seen in order to become free. Free again. What a concept. Free again for the very first time. No, not for the very first time. There were Americans that were free, including Black Americans, including Native Americans, that were free even at the time of the Revolutionary War and the handful of decades that followed that period in our history. But already in the early 18th century, 19th century, I mean, the 1800s, they were working to change all that. The Rothschilds and the European powers were trying to infiltrate this new nation from the very beginning. I mean, they were here even in the Continental Congress. Some of the people that signed the Declaration of Independence were two-sided, and some say that Saint Germain actually came and gave a speech, and there was all sorts of arguing going on back and forth, and this strange man appeared, who later people have said that this was Saint Germain, who gave a speech, and after that, the Declaration of Independence was signed and became a major document in the founding of a republic, which is a totally different form of government than a democracy. It's not a monarchy. That's where one person, one family basically gets to call all the shots. And it's not where the majority rules. It's where there's the rule of law, lawfulness. And Abraham Lincoln, being a bar attorney, was an unlawful president under the original Constitution. He was a bar attorney, the first one to hold that office. But he was not a bad person. And I'm not saying bar attorneys are bad people either. Some of them are actually able to grasp the higher meaning of things and to grasp the idea that human rights have to be preserved, that they've been undermined by the corporations that want to control the whole world and reduce the population down to a manageable 500 million people. I mean, it's on the Georgia Guidestones, folks. Anyway, this is a very major issue, and I am on the side of those that want to restore the principles of the original Declaration of Independence, the original Bill of Rights, the original U.S. Constitution. I want that to be restored, and I want the whole concept of dual citizenship to be outlawed anywhere in the world, including Israel, which is an abomination to God, as I see it. It's not a true nation. It is a terrorist entity. Anyway, I'm out of time. Thank you for listening, and namaste.